What's up, my Beardos and Weirdos? Thanks for jumping in for another video. Today's video is r/entitled parents, another of the super crazy popular video series that all of you have been requesting. We have two stories to go over today. One is about an entitled kid that does not like his neighbor. The next one is about a pregnant mother with a toddler who asks for way too much early in the morning. Alright, let's jump in! Entitled kid chokes me while his mom is watching, then tries to make me give him my PS4 because I punched him. This is my first story here, please be gentle. Also, this story is more about the kid than his parent, but the parent was supporting the behavior, so... Our cast. EK, obvious. EM, obvious. Me, super obvious. Neighbors 1 and 2, 2 neighborhood kids. Note that the neighbors are actually pretty cool. The EK was just older than them, and so had some authority. And so it begins. One summer day last year, I had just turned 14, I was playing some basketball with these 2 kids from a neighborhood in their driveway. Their family is pretty rich, so they have a fully paved driveway, big enough to be a sizable court. It's just me and them for about half an hour, until Satan's son himself came over from down the street. This kid is the really stereotypical little shiz who made the select soccer team 3 years ago and still thinks that he runs the place. So we let him join the game and everything's fine for a bit. I'm on the, bigger side, but I'm really strong, so I play really well as a center, posting up and that. And the EK is guarding me and he's getting worked. He's shorter and not as strong and he's getting dominated. Here's the major incident. I've just grabbed a loose ball and I'm running back towards the basket. The other kid gets back before me and stops my drive. So I start to back him down again. He must have been really frustrated by him not getting a chance on defense, so he thinks up a plan. At this point I was wearing a hoodie, and the fuser grabs my hood from behind and pulls as hard as he can. I, not expecting my airflow to be cut off, especially while I'm breathing hard, start to panic. I can't shake him off my back. I don't know how long he's been hanging on, but it felt like a full 45 seconds. That may not seem like that long, but I'm freaking the fuse out. So it feels like forever. An eternity later, his grip loosens, and I finally get him off. I'm fusing fired up, so I punch him right in the nose. Definitely not as hard as I could, but it certainly would have hurt a lot. This little shiz, however, he drops like he's out cold. Meanwhile, I'm on my knees trying to get my breath back. He's bawling his eyes out, he's rolling and screaming and all that, being the melodramatic turd that he is. But his mom is running over, and it was that moment where I knew that I was fused. Now, sometime between when he started and when I socked him, his mother came out, but she's the typical, I want to speak to the manager, white upper middle class mom, who volunteers to be the head of the PTA every year and goes to Starbucks 20 times a day. And the EK is very much her son.
Oh my god, Redacted, are you okay? What did you do to him?
He just nearly choked me out, so I punched him.
Why would you do that? You're so much bigger than him.
But he was choking me out.
Come on, dude. You've got to be more mature about this.
What do you expect me to do? Apologize to him for making him choke me? This whole thing goes on for a while until the neighbors step in and try to protect me. Neighbor 1. OP really didn't do anything wrong. Neighbor 2. Yeah, he didn't even hit him that hard. EM.
But OP shouldn't be hitting people in the first place, especially not my son.
Yes, she actually said, especially not my son. Neighbor 2. But it was basically a trade-off.
Why are you guys trying to protect him? You should probably go inside. You don't know what you're talking about.
They keep trying to help me out, but to no avail. This goes on for about another 5 minutes, before EK finally gets up and limps, yes, limps back to his house. I go home because I'm sick of his shiz and I'm tired. The next day, I try to go back over, but EK is there already. Neither of his parents' cars are there, so I assume he's staying at the neighbor kid's house until they come back. I decide to go back inside because I don't want to interact with him. A couple hours later, EK shows up the door with his mom, standing at the gate of our fence. EK.
Hi OP. I was just coming over to say sorry, or whatever, for choking you yesterday. I won't ever do it again.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry that I punched you. At this point, my mom comes to see who I'm talking to, and she asks what's going on. EM pipes up and says,
We're here for your forgiveness gift.
My what?
Your forgiveness gift. It's a tradition in our family that the person who apologizes last has to give the other person something to make up for it.
Excuse me, what's going on? I explain what happened, and as I explain what happened, she seems to get more and more disgusted by the situation. I finish explaining and turn back to EK, who has tried to correct my story while I was explaining it to my mom, saying things like,
He punched me twice in the face, and then kicked me in the nuts while I was crying on the ground.
my mom is basically a bomb-sniffing dog for lies, so I can see from her face that she knows that's bullshit. I turn back to EK, my mom. I'm sorry, but we don't do forgiveness gifts in this family.
We doing this one. EK, pick something out.
EK looked around and saw my PS4, and he points at it.
Mommy, I want that.
Keep in mind this kid is just about a year younger than I am, too old for mommy, too old for the whole situation in my opinion. EM walks up to our door and sees it's my PS4.
Great. We'll take that as our gift.
My mom, with steam billowing out of her ears, slams the door in their faces and quickly locks it. They start pounding on the door so hard it sounds like they are actually trying to break it down. We leave the door, but they are still pounding on the door for at least another 5 minutes before finally leaving. I still leave my neighbor's house anytime I see him walking down the block. That's the story. I understand it was super long. It may not be as high stakes or entertaining as some of the other stories here, but thanks for reading it if you got this far. OP, I think we all know the pain of having terrible neighbors. That is definitely a tough situation to be in. When you just want to hang out with your friends and have a good time, and there's someone in the neighborhood that wants nothing more than to desperately make that situation, that friendship, toxic, and to make you obligated to try to apologize for their wrongdoings. Now, I don't see what you did as retaliatory. I know that you said that in reaction to him choking you, that as soon as you got him off of you, you punched him in the face, but that sounded like, you got his grip loosened enough that you were able to turn around and defend yourself. 45 seconds, that's more than enough time to be assault. That's not horseplay, that was just an intentional willingness to attack you. So good for you for standing up for yourself, good for your mom for having your back. And I hope those neighbor kids grow up and see that neighborhood boy as an example of what not to do. And good on you for continuing to be a good influence to them. That's awesome.
You can't just throw out a stranded pregnant mother and her toddler at 3 a.m. in the cold.
Oh yes, I fusing can. Buckle up everyone for this bumpy ride. Okay, so I was chilling in my living room about 3 a.m. playing some video games. My parents are out of town visiting some friends and I decided to stay home, house to myself and all. So here I am, in nothing but bra and panties, when there's a knock on the door. WTF, I think to myself. So I scramble to get my clothes on and I answer the door. It was a family acquaintance with her already whiny little brat. She's also visibly pregnant, and we'll get to why that part is important later. Me. Hey, name, what's going on?
My car broke down, and the tow company can't come get my car until tomorrow. Think me and my brat's name can crash here tonight?
Sure, you guys can sleep in the living room. I let them in. Want anything to eat or drink?
Coffee, if it's not any trouble?
Sure, no problem. So I go and I make some coffee when I see the little shiz picking up my controller. Hey little guy, please put that down. Her.
Oh, he can't play a game?
No, I'm in the middle of something, and plus he wouldn't know how to play that type of game. Her.
But he really wants to. Don't you, little shiz?
I want to play.
No, you can't play.
I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. Ah! Do the roar.
No, you can't play. Throws the fusing controller at the TV, shattering the screen. What the fuse? I rush over to the TV.
Hey, don't swear at my child.
You don't just fusing let him destroy my TV like this.
You're the one who didn't let him play the video game.
I said no, and you have to teach your brat that he isn't owed jack shiz.
How dare you? Just wait until I tell your mother about how you treated him. You'll make a terrible mom.
I'm not having kids, but if I did, I wouldn't let them be spoiled little shiz like this brat.
You are being the brat right now. Just get a new TV and quit whining.
Yeah, I'll get a new TV with my money that you pay me for the broken TV.
What? But you were the one who instigated little shiz.
You know what? Just get the fuse out of my house. You and your brat are no longer welcome in my home.
What the fuse is wrong with you? I'm pregnant and have a toddler and nowhere to go. You can't just kick out a stranded pregnant mother and her toddler at 3 a.m. in the cold.
Oh, yes I can, you insufferable person. Get the fuse out of my house before I call the cops. Her picking up her brat and heading towards the door.
Just wait until I tell your mother about this.
Me. Yeah, I'll gladly tell her about what little shiz did to the TV and that you refused to pay for it. Her.
You'll regret this.
And leaves.
The next morning, I called my parents and explained what happened. They were very understanding because I was never raised to be a spoiled little person and momby person. Got an earful from my mom that if she didn't pay back, we would take her to small claims. She tried to play the oh woe is me single pregnant mother shiz, but it didn't work, and she forked over the $500 for the new TV, and we cut contact with her. Edit. In case anyone else was wondering, the reason Breeder and her tiny person were out at 3 a.m. was because the little tiny person demanded McDonald's and refused to go to bed unless he got it. Oh, I cannot imagine someone asking for help, someone asking for you to make a concession to them, and then demanding something well beyond outside of that, saying that they don't owe you for property that they broke. That is mind-blowing. Ah, thank you for writing this story. I hope this inspires people to be better parents. You can't blame the kid. I mean, the kid's terrible, but what examples does he have to go off? It's just his mom, and I don't know. She says she's a single mom. I assume that there's not another person there then helping raise the child. And I understand that can be very difficult, but you don't allow them to break someone else's property without any consequences. You don't blame that other person for having the property. And then you don't deny the fact that you have to pay it back. That is... Oh, there's so many things I disagree with here. It's so awful. Oh my gosh. Good for you, OP. Solid.
Alright, my Beardos and Weirdos, that was another r/entitled parents. That was fun. Alright, we'll see you in the next video, where we take it one topic at a time.